Good morning and welcome to another interesting edition of VOP this morning on Voice of the People Television. I am Fina Okechukwu, and on today's show we have a quite interesting lineup for you. First on our table today is IPOB warning Nigerian government against using Simon Ekpa's conviction as a small screen for Nnamdi Kanu's trial. Recall that 10th of October this year, 2025, will be the day that his fate actually will be known. And also on our radar, First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu seeks donation for National Library Project as she turns 65. That will be on Sunday, September 21. And also we have the top topic to be about what some persons are predicting for the 2027 general election, where the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike predicts that Obi will destroy PDP if he returns as presidential candidate, as Marafa DeLong declares political war against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
And that's, of course, these are the conversations on our table. And a lot of Nigerians, diving into this as well. So come along with us as we dissect these issues this morning. I am Moses Humphrey. And, well, of course, there are other conversations that we will get into in the course of the program.
And I am Chukwuma Okoro. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Talking about the trending stories, other conversations. The government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has faced criticism after posting misleading statistics on infrastructure projects, which were later deleted from X, that's formerly Twitter, following public backlash. Well, the controversy stems from a post shared on September 1, yesterday, from Tinubu's official X account at official ABAT, featuring an infographic titled Infrastructure Equity for Every Region under the Renewed Hope Agenda. Well, the post claimed that the Northwest region received the largest allocation of over 5.97 trillion naira, highlighting multiple road projects. Among them was the Zaria-Hunkuyi Road, listed as 156 kilometers long. Well, users quickly pointed out the discrepancy. The actual distance between Zaria and Hunkuyi is less than 25 kilometers. Well, I don't know what went wrong. Well, the post went viral, prompting criticism over alleged exaggeration of project data. The infographic also highlighted other major projects, including the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway, and the Trans-Saharan Highway, aiming to show balanced regional development. Well, I don't know why the presidency has to put out, why they had to put out wrong statistics. This is not the first time, I've always said that our leaders have a false sense of accomplishment. And why will it even be that a certain percentage of projects were located in the north more than the south? Why? Why do you need to please the north more than every other section of the country, more than every other region? What happens to equity? What happens to equality? What happens to equal redistribution of resources? Why would the president go out of his way to appease, because it's more like an appeasement now, to appease the North? For what reason? So it now speaks to the larger issue of Nigerian politics, the division between the North and South. Why must it always be in that direction? And again, why will you list Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway as part of the projects for the Northwest? What is it about the Northwest? A lot of questions that we are asking.
Well, these questions, sorry to
go ahead.
take that from
go ahead. It's a conversation.
These questions basically stem from the need to prove naysayers wrong. That's what it is. That the North is not benefiting from this administration. Unfortunately, a lot of politicians in the North, Northwest, and North Central, and the rest of them are beginning to draw some sort of line, letting people know that, look, this administration doesn't care about the North, the Muslim ticket is not working, and those other things. So this administration now feels, let's prove to them that we are doing something.
So when the Southeast complains, when the Southeast and South complain, what does the federal government do? They ignore them.
No, Umahi did not.
They call their bluff. That's essentially. I'm happy that you brought this point.
Yes. Umahi came
so
up.
Why will you have to appease the North all the time?
I don't think it's about appeasing the North.
No,
now
it's
in
an
particular,
appeasement.
because why actually come up to say that the South issue, stop talking about marginalization, that this present administration actually have brought in presence of the federal in that region. He pointed out some of the things which he said, not us now, Nigerians are not saying it, but he said that the government is doing that in the Southeast. And the Southeastern has come up to say that he on his own is not being truthful with those information he's pushed out. You understand? People from the Southeast said, we are the roads, we are the infrastructure.
Exactly.
What are the things you're telling us?
Exactly the point.
And
Now, did Umahi list the number of projects in the Southeast? I didn't get to see that.
I don't think he
The
did.
thing is,
I don't think he did.
the Southeast doesn't even speak with one voice.
And you think that the North speaks with one voice?
Oh,
There are people in the North that are saying, look, the president has
He's
done
working.
enough for the North.
Exactly.
And there are people that are saying, no, we don't see anything that the president is doing. So everything, does it boil down to politics?
It's politics.
It's politics. What kind
Everything
of
boils
politics
down to
would that
politics.
be? What kind of,
The kind of politics-
essentially my worry. That's
the kind
why
of politics,
I'm raising those questions.
Oh yes, of course. It's the kind of politics that we are practicing in Nigeria.
But
It's unfortunate, and
It's laughable.
you know, it's unfortunate really, and the fact that this I will call it false information came from the president's handle on social media. I know there are people handling his social media presence,
Exactly.
but they should have verified. They should have verified, because it speaks bad of the president, of the person of the president, that such an information that could easily be, verified came out, and it was wrong information.
And to make
a
matters
road
worse,
that
They had
is
to pull
less
it
than
down.
They had
25,
to pull it down.
and then they pulled it down.
Embarrassing.
It's
Embarrassing.
quite
They had to
embarrassing.
pull it down.
Retracting what you put out there is really embarrassing. And talking about the power of the North, I think the president is just, trying to ensure that he gathers enough votes come 2027, from the North, because it seems like his appeal in the North seems to be dwindling. So he's basically trying to ensure that he shores up more support from the North, especially the Northern elite. But let's see how this works. And another unfortunate thing here is that it's still 2025, for goodness sake. It's still 2025.
When you talk about, I think we are tired talking about 2025.
It's not even
because
2026.
We can't even go back because the steam, the heat is on now. The heat on politics is on. We can't go back.
Goodness.
Now, there are a lot of talking points around this issue of the North and the South. Why is it that any time somebody from the South becomes president, the North is quick to point out, we are being marginalized, we are this. No, looks like this is a replay of what happened in
I will take
2015.
that question as rhetorical, because you know the answer to the question already.
No, I want Nigerians to answer, because this looks like a replay of what happened in 2015.
Jonathan,
During the Jonathan era. The moment the guy came up, and now the North said, no, you cannot. In fact, they even made threats. We'll make this country ungovernable. If you foreign observers, if you are not careful, you are going to go in body bags, and the monkeys and baboons will be soaked in blood. And in all of this, nobody's career was damaged. Nobody was brought to book. Instead, their careers were elevated. It was after El-Rufai said all of that he became governor of Katsina State.
I guess, if this also cuts across other sectors of the economy.
Okay.
MDAs, there are a lot of establishments where the northern individuals tend to hold a lot more power than Nigerians from either the south, the western part of Nigeria, or the eastern part of Nigeria. They do a lot of things and get away with it. I told you here about an organization. I'm not going to mention the particular parastatal or ministry. Now, there was an organization where certain people were caught for stealing the nation's resources, and they were supposedly suspended. All right, but they weren't taken to jail, but they were suspended. It was in the papers that these individuals were suspended and they'll be made to face the wrath of the law. Well, further investigation revealed that these individuals, who were from the northern extraction, were still living in the official quarters. They were still being paid full pay. They were just not going to work. All right, so they weren't seen in the office for a period of time, but their salaries
were being
paid in full. So who lost?
At the end of
the day.
Have you asked the question of these people that stole the money? Where's the money going to?
Sorry, Fina. In fact, in one of those organizations, a PA to a director forged the signature of the director to ensure that his wife is sent on an official assignment. And when another director, when the paper got to another director's table, he called this man and said, look, we can't send this person, so why are you approving this person? And the man called his PA and said, why did you do this? He said, look, okay, I've been telling you I need my wife to be sent to this thing.
The wife that is not a staff of that?
No, she's a staff.
Okay, she's
a staff, but a way junior staff, and was not qualified for that training or whatever it was. I said, look, and he asked him, so you had to forge my signature? He said, yes, I did it, and I'll do it again. And this director, in front of people, called the other director and said, please, let her go. Just let's not make a fuss about it.
In all of this, don't you think we should rethink the viability of this union called Nigeria?
Well,
but the bigger question is, if we are able to get back night peacefully, are you sure that the sub-ethnic groups within the ethnic groups will not get to this level where, like, if you come to my state now, a lot of people are saying, oh, they're not sent at the Abia Central. Every other person in this government is from Abia Central. And when it was the turn of the South, everybody complained, why is it that the South is taking up everything? When it was the turn of Abia North, everybody complained, Abia North. So if we rethink this union and say, okay, let's part peacefully, do you think that the sub-ethnic groups will still have that
ethnic bigotry will still be the behavior?
So what's the way out?
In certain parts, an Anambra man feels he's superior to other parts. I mean, I just had to say that one. He feels he's superior to every other Southeasterner. He feels he's superior. So I think it's something that is.
So what's the solution? How do we walk out of this trap? Because I see it as a trap.
Working out may not be the solution, but
what I'm saying working out is how do we solve the problem so that everybody will be seen.
We just have to learn to enjoy each other, and then there has to be some sort of deliberate recalibration of the younger generation. There has to be a deliberate effort to teach the younger ones to see each other as one, as a united front across all ethnic groups. There has to be that deliberate action, and it has to start from the home front.
I hope I'm still alive when that happens, because I don't see it happening in the nearest future.
If there is no deliberate recalibration that you talked about now, I think the best thing would have actually been for people to go back to regionalization, because I believe that when we're doing the regional system of government, it tends to bring in, positive competition from each region. The North will understand that, okay, we have this mass land. Actually, we can till the land and get something. The South, people from the East were able to get something too. The West also were able to get something. That is channeling this particular ethnic bigotry that we have now into a healthy competition. But the moment to keep on living it the way it is, bring something, others will believe, okay, fine, go there, get the oil, we'll bring the money from the oil, we'll share. You understand? And that actually will make Nigerians, or even some of our politicians now, to just sit back at home, fold their hands and wait for what Ram FAC will bring to the table. That is a FAC allocation. But talking about this particular message that the president, or rather that was sent through the president handle, it speaks also volume to how desperate this administration actually is, in making sure that Nigerians will see them, that they are working, and they are trying to bring something out for Nigerians to see. But it doesn't really speak well for us as a nation, given the fact that we're still looking for a way to get FDI from foreign bodies and foreign countries. When they see that you put out a falsified figure that they also had to retract, it makes it so open that it's more like corruption is still there. Everyone have told the Brazilian government that there is no corruption.
Another thing I was going to say is this: you really don't need to put out projects and figures and say, "Oh, this is what we have done. This is what we have done." If the people have food on their table. If you're able to ensure that the ordinary Nigerian has food, the ordinary Nigerian is paid well, all right, there'll be no need to, try to make people see you in a good light. Just make sure that there is food. Exactly. Make sure that justice is served when due. Make sure that every Nigerian, I mean, if Nigerians can see these things, they wouldn't need to listen to anybody saying that the government is not working. The government itself would not need to prove to Nigerians that, oh, we've done this project to make your life better. No, it will be seen, it will be obvious that I can get home, turn on my lights, and there is light. I can do my business. The bills I pay are, reduced. My children can go to school. I can afford to send them to a school down the road, at least, and I can afford to provide food for my kids. Then you will not have a problem trying to prove to Nigerians that you're working.
I hope you know also that on that particular chart, we have 255 megawatts of a Kaduna power plant. They've revived it. So I need to ask if you don't have like 18 hours power supply in your home and all that. But away from that, a rights group, Edo State Civil Society Coalition on Human Rights, has condemned the State Ministry of Education for allegedly compelling teachers in the public schools to cut grasses and engage in menial labor. The group, or the grow-up condemnation, come up as a particular statement signed by Marxist scholar Edo Bayi and comrade Agatishe Raphael, Coordinator General and Secretary General of the group, respectively talked about the group, noting how teachers were not employed as gardeners, cleaners, and janitors, stressing that teachers must never be forced into degrading labor. The group threatened to embark on protest and take legal action if the state government fails to stop the development. The group insisted that the action of the government is not only an insult to the teaching profession, but also a blatant violation on human rights and labor ethics. I saw this story, and the first thing that came into my mind
state is that again?
Edo State. I was like, what is really happening? Is it that the state actually not ready to welcome back the school children who went on long vacation? Because if they are ready to welcome back, if they are ready for resumption to take place, they would have called persons that will, pay them, like we saw in Benue State.
A government school, right?
Government school. Teachers and government school were being mandated to do the cleaning. Now, I think it was the night before the president visited Benue State that we saw persons cleaning, cutting grasses and all that. Why wouldn't they prepare for school children to return back to school by also employing persons who should go there, clean or cut the grasses, fumigate the area, make the environment conducive for children to come back? Why subject teachers to cotton dust? This actually, we had a little debate about this, and then someone was asking me, Fina, if you're to be in your house, won't you cut your grasses? Won't you mow the grass if the place if the grasses actually are overgrown? Won't you clean the environment? What is so difficult in teachers doing it? And I said, this happened on a Monday morning. It happened on a Monday morning when teachers should be in classes teaching school children, not cutting grasses.
But they've not resumed.
Oh, they've not resumed, or they've resumed?
Schools have not resumed, have they?
Then why are the teachers?
I don't have a problem with this, actually, to be honest.
No, the way it is, I don't have I have a problem, and I don't have a problem.
Okay.
The problem I have is that you have to, in the course of study period, whatever happened, you force teachers to go and start cutting grasses. When we were in school back then, those of us that attended village school, we have what we call time for labor. Because at that time, you were not hiring outsiders. There were no mowing machines to cut the grasses. So we, the students, had to do that. So if it's on a Tuesday that's a labor day, what we'll do is we'll study from 8 o'clock. We'll go on break by 10, 11. We'll go back to break. If school dismisses by 2, then on labor day, school will have to dismiss by 1 o'clock. So that for the next 1 hour, students will come out. You'll have come with your cutlasses and all of hose and all of that. You do the manual labor till the end of session for that day. Everybody goes home sweating, kids playing and all of that. Because you don't go to labor and come back to class to study. No, it's out of place. I don't have a problem with children cleaning the school compound and teachers supervising them. But when it becomes forced that a teacher has to go clean the compound, now go back to class, it doesn't make sense. That is my point of disagreement.
Okay.
But I don't have a problem with the fact that, look, we have kids and students supervising them, cleaning the school compound. Who else will do that? If not the teachers and the children.
Now, you're saying that maybe when you guys happen to be on a long vacation and you return back to school, you do the cleaning yourself and everything?
No, if we're on long vacation and school resumed, for 2 days, no studies. Everybody will just be cleaning the school compound.
Okay, now this is my take on this one. I really don't have a problem with this. You know, when I was in school, secondary school and the rest, I mean, there were times we had to cut the grasses. Students had to do that. Don't shake your head. My time.
Okay, it's okay.
Yes, it wasn't seen as punishment.
You have cleaners.
It was a fun during our time. Okay. It was a fun time, really.
So it's not different from what I just said about.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, you go to school with cutlasses. In fact, when you're resuming, it's part of the things that you take to school, the cutlasses. So they keep it in a particular room, hoes, cutlasses. When it's time, you take it and then you cut the grass. It was, you know, usually you just do it. But now, even in organizations, in companies where they don't have grasses like this, a time will come where it all depends on how this was structured. All right. Now they are seeing it as forced labor probably because there was no proper conversation before doing it. Now it shouldn't be when school is on session, of course, and I don't think school is on session right now. I think schools are still on vacation till September 15. That's when most schools will resume. So if the teachers are asked to come to school, let's have fun, maybe on a weekend. On a Saturday, you come to school with rakes and hoes and machetes, all right? And you start to cut the grass. You do the much you can. And then you have senior students, maybe SS1 or SS2, asked to come along so they can also help in cleaning the compound. It will also inculcate in the children the idea of keeping your environment
Cleanliness, being
clean.
next to godliness.
Exactly.
Okay. Now,
It adds to it.
Who does the cleaning of who does the mowing of the
ways.
grasses on the governor's lounge?
Fina, what's your
That's not
position?
what we
My
are
position
saying.
is this. The Ministry of Education in that state should employ people to do the cleaning. Teachers are employed to go to school to teach. Let them do the teaching. Now we have children.
It's part of teaching. When
children.
I just told you how
we have people who have
agree on.
interest in agriculture. People who have interest in tilling the grass and making money from it. This actually happens. It can be someone's calling. Then you send them. Yes, you map out a farm. Let them go there and do
I just told you how
there are people who don't know how to do this, and you subject them to. Why should they learn?
That is why we're having the problem.
Listen, why should they learn?
Why shouldn't they learn?
I will go to school to start mowing the grass.
Okay, why don't you ask the teacher to come clean your house for you?
Now the thing is, in my house I don't have grown grasses. I can get any employers
So
I
how
want
do you
to use
clean
to
your
do.
house?
I can employ someone to do it. You employ people to do the cleaning. You pay them.
No, Fina.
They have cleaners. You pay them.
How then do you imbibe the culture of service in children if they don't see their teachers doing
There are many ways they can actually do it. There are many ways they can do it. Not until when I subject a child to cutting the grass or when I subject a child to do it. No. We have to be all out in this. Now, when you tell a child to say, okay, arrange your room, it's work
it's
too.
the Gen Z era.
It's not the Gen Z era.
And it is this Gen Z thing that is causing a lot of problems.
It's not causing problems.
No, it is.
Now, who is the governor cutting grass in his office to start with? The Minister of Education,
Fina,
is he cutting
are you
grass
the
in his
governor?
office?
Is the teacher the governor?
Now the question is the Minister of Education cutting grass in his office?
Is the
They will
student the governor?
employ people. The minister will
what of the
employ
principal?
persons.
What of
They
the
will
principal?
employ people to do their work. If you go to other government
like I said,
agencies, they employ people to do it.
Like I
so
said.
why wouldn't they do it themselves to also teach themselves or imbibe on other persons who are watching them? Call their children to come to the office and watch them cut the grass. Why subject teachers to do it? I don't. Now I have to be all out or so clean. Not until when you. No, don't give me that look. Don't give me that. But.
I feel you. It's okay. It's all right.
It's not Gen Z thing. Time for studies should be done for studies.
Yes, but it's not time for studies. And like I said, this can be done in a fun way. The principals, the head teachers, the teachers, some of the students, the older ones, will be seen there as well. And it will be done, and maybe exercise even added to it.
In fact,
do some sort of
finance position is
and it will be fun.
The finance position is why the younger generation, they are badly behaved.
How can you say that? We are not How badly?
Very
We
badly
not badly
behaved.
behaved. Not until when I
You
carry
people
a
were- you people were
not
not-
until when I carry a
Oh,
one
my.
match it and go and
People
start
were
putting
not
grass
properly
out.
brought up.
Oh my goodness.
In my days,
Okay.
in my days,
All
it's
right.
like in primary and secondary school, I think you go clean your classroom, you don't get anybody to
Now, if you people are so good or wonderfully behaved and every other thing, then why is it that those people who think they manage to get such teaching or such lectures from the almighty disciplinarians are the ones giving birth or even nurturing people who are badly
why
behaved?
I'm worried, because I don't know what your generation
That is
will
not
become
it,
when they
because
get
there's
when they
nothing
get
actually to
into
saying
government.
down. There's
We
nothing
need
to
to
say
move
down
on.
to
We need to
people.
move
Let's move on, indeed. Oh, well, a peace accord has been reached between the Musawa local government community and the bandit elements under the Katsina state government Operation Safe Corridor Initiative. Now, the dialogue held on Sunday at Tasha Maye Alewa Primary School in Damusa local government area was aimed at fostering sustainable peace and reconciliation. The Musawa community delegation was led by the council chairman alongside the district head of Musawa and other key stakeholders. Now, on the part of the bandits, representatives included Omaru Munore and Wada Turawa. Who are they? They are bandits. Okay. Are they bandits, or are they just people speaking on behalf of the bandits? Well, they participated through their mediator, Ado Abdul Karim Yantumaki. Now, according to the communique issued after the meeting, both parties agreed, that's the community and bandits, agreed to enhance peaceful coexistence, ensure the release of kidnapped and detained persons, and uphold order and justice. Now, speakers from both sides pledged commitment to the accord, promising to sustain peace and prevent further hostilities. Non-kinetic approach, I must say. Oh, well. Now, there's a lot to say in this regard, but because of time, I'll just let that one slide, and we'll run straight to the papers now. We do have the papers before us. I will quickly run to Daily Independent, where we have these headlines. It's, time for newspaper headlines. So, Daily Independent headlines: mobile subscribers base suffers steepest decline in 10 months. No Nigerian is second class. No region is left behind. Tinubu, it doesn't seem so. 2027 elections. Politicians asking Jonathan to vie betrayed him in 2015. Wike. Doctors issue 10 days ultimatum, threaten nationwide strike. NUPRC, NNPCL, Total Energies sign deep water oil contract. Life expectancy in Nigeria worse than war-torn Ukraine. South Sudan, Obi. FG hails conviction of Simon Ekpa by Finnish court. Rivers LG poll heightens fears over 2027 general elections. It's mockery of democracy. Rascality taken too far. Obi, and the bottom strip there. Sidi Uta assumes office as AFDB president. Now, those are the headlines on the cover page of Daily Independent newspaper.
Up next is the Vanguard newspaper, and above the masthead, we have the NUPRC, NNPCL, Total Energies, Septro, seal PSC deal on 2 offshore oil blocks. Terrorism, FGCDS orders hail Ekpa's conviction in Finland. Writers to that story. We will take further action against Ekpa, AGF. Order our courts should expedite hearing of terrorism cases, NBA. Empowerment of bandits. FG tackles RFI, says claims baseless. And they'll have the banner headline to be Jonathan Takeyamo Odinkalu, keep off my political journey. Writers to that says, keep off my political journey, I don't need your counsel. Jonathan, 100% qualified for race, says Azibaula, ex-president's cousin. He is being deceived. Fielding Obi's spell, doomed for PDP. Wike adds, I won't run for president. Notes, RFI calculation about Tinubu wrong. Nigerians, not APC or PDP, will decide 2027. That's coming from Atiku. And then we have the pictorial there. Colombia's VP comes calling. The president is shaking hands with her, and beside is the vice president. And then Vanguard Sports, which is on page 31. Nigerians in South Africa mobilized for Super Eagles against Bafana Bafana. Power-hungry politicians seeking to remove Tinubu. That's coming from presidency. Childhood cancer, 400,000 children diagnosed annually. That's coming from World Health Organization. Rivers local government poll. Obi, Labour Party, condemn election. Court, go to court. RISEC tells aggrieved parties. Botched agreement, resident doctor threatened nationwide strike. And those are the headlines on the cover page of Vanguard newspaper today.
And the Nigerian Tribune has the window headlines. Okpebolo intensifies oversight on road projects, demands quality, speed from contractors. The Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 44th Olubadan's coronation process begins September 22. Now the big story. Obi will destroy PDP if he returns to party. Wike, that's coming from Nyesom Wike, FCT minister, says politicians pushing Jonathan to contest in 2027 betrayed him in 2015. Tinubu will win next election. More headlines. FG commends Finland as court sends Simon Ekpa to 6 years in jail. Battle for NWC slot intensifies in Southwest PDP. Position of National Secretary, National Auditor, Zonal Chairman at stake. Don't drag security institutions into partisan politics. FG wants El Rufai. And in the health sector, game-changing AI stethoscopes could detect heart conditions in seconds. I'll take that again for clarity. Game-changing AI stethoscopes could detect heart conditions in seconds. And that's it from the Nigerian Tribune.
And that's also how far we can go on taking a quick peep on the cover page of the National Daily. It's too well to join Chukwuma and Moses for the newspaper review. That'll be on top of the hour here on Voice of the People Television. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dissect the first topic of conversation, which is about IPOB warning Nigerian government against using Simon Ekpa's conviction as a smokescreen for Nnamdi Kanu's trial. Stay with us.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP this morning, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Have you back as still VOP this morning. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has accused the Nigerian government of deliberately using the conviction of Finland-based pro-Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa in Finland as a smokescreen campaign to derail the ongoing trial of its detained leader Nnamdi Kanu. Just yesterday, the Paid Hamay District Court in Finland convicted and sentenced Ekpa to 6 years in prison on terrorism charges. According to the court decision, Ekpa was found guilty of inciting terrorism in Nigeria. Here, the Nigerian government, in a statement issued by Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, welcomed Ekpa's conviction. But reacting to the Nigerian government's statement on Ekpa's conviction, IPOB, in a statement issued on Monday by its spokesperson, Ima Powerful, accused the Nigerian government of attempts to link the group to Ekpa. According to IPOB, records in Finland clearly established that Ekpa is not a member of the group. And also Ekpa himself, in one of the statements he released, said that he is just a content creator and he has nothing to do with the IPOB. We have with us in the studio here, we have Prince Francis Chilaka, who is a political and public affairs analyst, and we'll be joined virtually from Abuja by Edwin Edia, Executive Secretary, African Institute for Statecraft International. And we have from Oka Chief George Moralu, who is a Labour Party candidate for Anambra State November 8 political gubernatorial election also. He is here in the capacity of a public affairs analyst. Now let me start off with you, Prince Francis. Good morning, Prince Francis. Good morning. Good to have you join today's conversation. I don't know if Edwin, good morning, if you can hear me. All right, now Prince Francis, what do you have to say about this particular, the whole story? First, a Finnish court sentencing Simon Ekpa to 6 years imprisonment, and then here in Nigeria, the FG, they are applauding the move. Even the AGF said that after that, he should come back to Nigeria and face, the wrath of whatever they believe they have against him. With a call from Ima Powerful, saying that Nigerian government is trying to use the Finnish judgment now against Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in detention for some time. What do you have to say about this, please?
Well, I think it's a victory for the people in the southeast that have suffered from the stupidity of a man who does not understand the signs of the time and who does not understand that Biafra is an ideology, And I've always maintained that because Biafra is an ideology, it depends on who is driving it at a particular time. Don't forget that Simon Ekpa just came out of the blues, and his own approach, so to say, was completely different from that of Nnamdi Kanu. And so you cannot put two of them together in terms of what role they have played. But I'm happy that he got convicted. I'm one of those who don't believe in him, and I've never supported his way and ideology of going about the Biafra issue. You cannot foist pain on same people you say you're trying to save.
Now, when you look at Simon, I don't mean to button at this point in time. In one of the broadcasts he made before now, he said something when Nnamdi Kanu and Ima Powerful come up to say there is no longer sit at home, or people in South should no longer enforce sit at home. Which day? I'm talking about IPOB now, first initiated before it was hijacked. He said something. He said until the leader, who happens to be Nnamdi Kanu, is released from the detention,
you need to understand something.
Okay.
The incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu was not the death of IPOB. IPOB has a structure. And in that structure, there was no time Simon Ekpa was considered in that structure. There was no time. So it has a structure. And we have all known that Ima Powerful has always been the one speaking. So when this whole madness of sit at home was taken out of context, when trucks were being burned, people were being killed, IPOB came out to say, we are not the ones still carrying out this sit at home. And I has to stop. But Simon Ekpa refused.
Okay. Now, when we talk about, IPOB distancing itself from Simon Ekpa, of course, you did say there's a structure. There's been a structure in place. But like my colleague rightly pointed out, the initial execution of the sit-at-home was done by IPOB. Simon Ekpa only jumped on it and propagated it even more. Now, during the implementation of the sit-at-home, called by Ekpa now, and then we saw certain individuals, because Simon Ekpa never stepped his foot on the soils of Nigeria. If he did, I wouldn't know. I don't know. But we know that he was calling the shots from outside the shores of Nigeria, and then some Nigerians were carrying out the orders given by him. Now, why didn't we see the structure of IPOB clamp down on those that were carrying out orders to ensure that Southeasterners stayed back at home, according to the words of Simon Ekpa? Why didn't we see that?
Okay.
What do you think happened?
Moses, let's. You can't just look at it from the surface.
Okay.
Each time IPOB, before this mandatory Monday sit-at-home came up, IPOB, when they call for sit-at-home, they don't force people. Now, what happened in the Southeast was that, if sit-at-home was called, and then you had an unknown gunman going about killing people.
Now,
so let me finish. Now, at that point in time, if you had followed it, because I was following,
okay,
IPOB came out and said, we don't even know who these unknown gunmen are. And I remember IPOB issued a statement putting the unknown gunmen on the footsteps of the governors.
Now, how firm were they in ensuring that the activities of the unknown gunmen were stopped? How do the structure?
How do you want an unarmed man? No, how do you want an unarmed man to stop a man that is armed?
We're talking about the structure. Could it be that certain individuals were sponsoring these people, and an IPOB structure did not have the means to curb them? Because, if I have I'm just saying, if I have a group of people that I'm speaking for, and some of that group come up and start attacking the people, I would want to defend my people.
Okay, if you recall, when I started, I said, Biafra is an ideology. Wazirike had his own ideology about how to achieve an independent southeastern state called Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu had his own. Simon Ekpa has his own. So it depends on who is driving that ideology at a particular time. But the thing is that if you, in fairness to IPOB,
okay,
and in fairness to Nnamdi Kanu, severally they came out to say, this man is not part of us. So it's not just because of what has happened. They have been denying him before now.
Indeed.
Yes.
All of that.
So let's give them that credit. And if they're saying that this man is not part of us, and the man continues to do what he's doing, who has the power to stop him? Not IPOB.
Okay.
IPOB is not a violence organization, in quotes.
Okay. All right, Prince. Let's draw from historical examples, because a few people have said, look, we are behind Simon Ekpa, behind him as in we support what he's been doing, despite the fact that he's been sentenced, in faraway Finland. We still believe in him, and they are casting him in the mode of probably a freedom fighter like Nelson Mandela. And they say, look, even Nelson went to prison and stayed for 27 years. Now, in what mold do you think that the imprisonment will recast Simon Ekpa by the time he's in jail now? Do you think that his followers, will more like withdraw and not do what they are used to doing? You recall that even when Nelson was in prison, his branch of the ANC always still supported him and even carried out his instructions from detention. What do you see coming in the future?
For me, I would say with all sense of responsibility that immediately Simon Ekpa was arrested and we started hearing all the gibberish that was coming out from him, people who initially supported him withdrew their support. Don't forget, at a point in time during the court proceeding, he said he's a content creator. How can you be a content creator and you have led many to their death? How can you be somebody who is agitating for a race And suddenly, all the youths in the southeast have disappeared. Some have traveled out, some have moved to Lagos. Because if you are in the southeast and you get caught, you are labeled what? ESN, IPOB. So I don't think any right-thinking person, when I say right-thinking person, somebody who has their heads intact, would support Simon Ekpa.
Okay, now do you think that...
And anybody who wants to
cast him in the mode
of Nelson Mandela needs to be sent to the psychiatric
now, do you think that this sentencing is going to solve problem? Are you aware that there was some kind of bedlam in the southeast yesterday, parts of southeast, following his sentencing?
It's expected.
Okay.
But then you know that there are people who are still benefiting from the resources he's gotten from the content creating. And there are some people who still have some of his money in their hands.
When you talk about content creating, how possible is it that he's a content creator and he organized a Biafran government in exile? Because we also recall that there was a government, a Biafran government in exile. He also conducted that. And from what Ima Powerful actually pointed out, said he has something they call, I think, the Biafran Liberation Army, and then also the Biafran Defense.
Since he got arrested, I think one lady came on, is it to Jew or whatever they called her, came up and said, "Oh, I'm taking over." Now, since he got sentenced, where is the lady?
Okay, so do you think...
You need to understand that this whole charade about government in exile was just an instrument used to gather money from, unsuspecting
now that's where
Southeasterners.
It's a good thing that you brought us to that point.
Yes.
He later called himself a content creator and the rest. But, and then we saw all the things he did prior to his arrest and now conviction. Some people have said that Simon Ekpa, who has been in Finland, may not have had the resources to pull out what was being done in the eastern part of Nigeria, that he got sponsorship from certain quarters.
Obviously.
Now, don't you think that some others might be spurred to get into his own kind of content creation in the hope that those that sponsored Simon Ekpa might look their way? And what will that portend for the security in the South?
The way it is right now, if I'm sure you would have followed what's playing out in the Southeast. People are becoming more aware. And people are beginning to, restrict themselves. Because people have also come to realize that, these guys are making millions. How much are they giving to this?
But have we, in all the awareness that people are gathering, have we been able to curtail or apprehend and parade these unknown gunmen? Don't you think that would have been a deterrent?
Now, when you talk about the unknown gunmen, I'll take you on a little journey. If you're traveling from Lagos to the southeast, you have close to almost 200 checkpoints. Moses, have you ever asked yourself this question? Why is it that these checkpoints are not manned on Mondays? Does it mean that the federal security personnel, you have the VIO, you have the police, you have the army, you have the customs? Wait, why is it that Mondays, when you have this sit at home in the southeast, why are they not on the checkpoints?
Could it be that the federal security forces are afraid of the unknown gunmen, or are they complicit?
It looks more like complicity. Because I'm even me, I'm short of words. That the might of the police, the army that run checkpoints. I just came back from the southeast. It was not a child's play. Now, yesterday, a colleague of mine was supposed to come back. He couldn't come out. I said, why? He said, for fear of the unknown gunmen.
So the Monday sit at home has persisted.
What part of the southeast is that?
From Anambra, he was supposed to come to Lagos. He didn't come.
Okay.
And I said, what do you mean? So I asked him, jokingly. And I asked him, I said, well, have you gone out? He said, they strolled out. I said, how about the checkpoint? He said, there's nobody there.
No, but curiously, these things happen. Like if you go to Abia State, if you go to Enugu State, people walk freely on Mondays, do their businesses. Even schools are open.
Mr. Koro, it's one thing for you and I to sit down here and make those assumptions.
No, I also go to the Southeast and I get report from the Southeast.
Go there and find out. My mom is in the Southeast.
Okay.
My mom will tell you that on Monday you can't. Nobody will go out.
Wait, what?
There's
exactly,
this fear.
Exactly the point.
It's about
part
fear.
Of the Southeast?
It's about fear of what has happened before. And the government in the South, the governors in the Southeast have not been able to remove that fear from the people. The only way you can make the people let me finish. Okay. The only way you can make the people have that confidence to come out on those days that they declare sit at home is if they feel that the government will provide the necessary security.
Prince, there's something I want us to trash out now. When you talk about going to the Southeast, I also come from the Southeast. I have family there. I go to Southeast. Now, even before I came to Lagos, on Mondays in Umuahia, in Aba, in Abia State, in Enugu, people go to school. People go to work. So I'm asking, because I want us to locate where the problem is.
I remember when the governor of Enugu State came first, and he started saying, "Oh, people must come out."
Okay.
You remember? And that Monday, he was moving around himself.
Okay.
After that, what happened? The sit at home continued. See, when you say sit at home in the Southeast today, maybe nobody's enforcing it. But the people are scared.
No, people are, it's still being enforced in some part. What I want us to try to understand is, why is it that the enforcement is more severe in some places like Anambra? Will you have any explanation for that? Because I just told you, in Enugu where I have family, in Abia State where I come from, people go to school, markets are open.
How many? What's the percentage?
All right.
What's the percentage?
Percentage of what?
Let me see. If you have a school that is close to where the governor has an eye, the commissioner of police have an eye, it will operate.
Is it okay to
But if you have a school where the ordinary people who have been battered by poverty and hunger and frustration, who do not have security, they will not come out.
Okay. Now, is it okay to say that for months now, Simon Ekpa has been incarcerated and now he's been sentenced. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been,
incarcerated and awaiting.
But the sit at home and the insecurity in the Southeast has persisted. Is it okay to say that the governors have failed?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, come on. We all know that the governors are the problem.
They are the problem.
They are the problem of the Southeast. The leadership. The elder statesmen in the Southeast are the problem.
Governor Peter Mbah, when he came into office, attempted to, push back the unknown gunmen.
And what happened?
He brought out some form of security, told people to go out and, with security forces on the streets. But that didn't seem to work. Why do you think that didn't work?
Consistency.
Because there were still killings in some of the
Consistency.
parts.
Sincerity of purpose.
I'm sorry,
you do not use security as a bait for politics.
No, I would like for us to look at these killings within the ambit of the struggle for self-determination. These are two different things because killings go on in all parts of the country.
No. The killings that has been going on
is about the self-determination, the struggle itself.
You and I,
played.
You and I are from the Southeast.
Okay.
And we know that before this whole brouhaha of sit-at-home started, unknown gunmen, Southeast was a very peaceful place.
Okay, but there were kidnappings going on too. Like in Abia State.
Yes, there were kidnappings.
Okay.
But they were not as they are today. You remember, Okoro, it's not how many months back, a media mogul almost got killed because of sit-at-home. And there are a lot of people who have been killed because they refused.
It wasn't because of sit-at-home. That was not even on a Monday. It wasn't even on a Monday. Let's put things in proper perspective. I'm not trying to defend anybody here, but we are just holding a conversation. I want us to situate what we are discussing within the ambit of the struggle for self-determination.
It is the struggle that has led to all this brouhaha.
Okay.
Okay,
And
is it the struggle that has led to the kidnappings that go on in the South?
It is see in the South.
Or in the Southwest?
If you're talking about,
or you think that people don't get kidnapped in the Southwest?
Okoro, let us.
Or in the North Central?
Let us be honest with ourselves.
Okay.
Crime, as far as I'm concerned, is not about ethnic group.
Beautiful.
It is not position.
Beautiful.
But what we are saying is that if a crime is being perpetuated by certain people to hold certain people down, then you cannot begin to point
who
at
are
it.
these certain
So,
people? Moses asked a question: why has it been difficult for this unknown gunmen to be unmasked
now,
by the federal intelligence?
That is why we're saying that if you say people are unknown gunmen, these are guys wielding guns and all of that. Who is in the right position to stop them? Is it you and I? Or is it the same government that should have a superior force?
Which government now? The state government or the central government?
Both.
No.
Both.
What role would the state government
Your state
play?
governors are called chief security officers. We also know they don't have
reality,
power. But the point is this: in every state you have the military, you have the police.
Okay.
So if something is happening, we expect that by now the governors in the Southeast should have been able to unveil those elements behind the unknown government.
The military that takes orders from the governor or from the chief of army staff.
No, this time around, we're not talking about who they take order from. We're talking about coping a situation.
All right.
You have to factor that in.
Let's bring another angle to this now. Why does it? What impact will this have? I mean, the sentencing of Simon Ekpa now. What impact will it have on the October 10 judgment that Nigerians are awaiting? That's the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu judgment. What impact will this have on that?
Ordinarily, to be honest with you, it shouldn't even have an impact. It should not. These are two different cases. When the military went to Nnamdi Kanu's house, did they see any weapons there? Have you seen Nnamdi Kanu wield a gun? You see, the thing we are failing to do in this country is that we're failing to look at injustice in the face and call it injustice. I've always said something that if we had a working system from the federal to the state to the local government, you will not have somebody like Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
You will not even have had somebody like
Prince. Now that the system is not working, how do you think? I go back to what Moses asked. How do you think that the judgment, being on terrorism, he was sentenced for inciting people in the Southeast, and in faraway Finland, and the government is holding Nnamdi Kanu on charges of terrorism. So do you think that the federal government will try to create a nexus between what Ekpa did?
No, know that Nnamdi Kanu's case is what I call betrayal of justice.
Okay.
Because the case has gone from High Court to Appeal Court to Supreme Court. And just because they want to hold the man down, the Supreme Court referred the case back. And everybody knows that it's all a plot to find a way to nail him. They say, give a dog a bad name to kill the dog.
Exactly the question we are asking.
But I will tell you this. I think that Nnamdi Kanu's case, like I've always said, is a political solution.
Okay, I think that's what is going to end it. Because Imapaful is calling on United
That is what
Nations.
is going to end it.
Imapaful is calling on United Nations, the UN.
You don't need to call on anybody. What we need is a political solution to Nnamdi's case.
Now, Prince, the question that we are asking, do you think that the federal government will rely on this sentencing to say, we told you?
Well, it's possible. Because already the federal government is jubilating all over the place.
Okay.
And, like I said, give a dog a bad name to hang the dog. So it's most likely the federal government would say, this one has been done, so let us do our own. But it will not be justice. That's the point. And like I keep saying, we keep talking about justice, we keep talking about peace in this country, but we are not addressing the fundamentals. And until we are open and sincere to address the fundamentals, see, you jail Nnamdi Kanu tomorrow, another person will come out.
Okay.
Because that is the ideology. I keep saying Biafra is an ideology. The things the youths are seeing in the southeast is what drives them. You have in the southeast, they arrest young people, young boys, they charge them for terrorism, they call them IPOB, they lock them up. You arrest bandits in the north. You arrest terrorists in the north. And what do? You call them repentant. And you reintegrate them back into the society. What kind of justice system is that? So we must be honest with ourselves in this country. If we want peace, let us look at peace from the aspect of justice. Because any peace devoid of justice is peace of the graveyard.
All right, and so is it okay to say that you're taking the part of selective justice?
That's what's been happening in this country.
That's what you are saying. Okay, and yes, well, with everything playing out, this judgment, final words on this one, as we wait for the October 10 ruling. We know that some other things came up in the case of Simon Ekpa. Aggravated tax fraud was one of the things mentioned. Isn't it some sort of indictment on the judicial system in Nigeria, saying that of Finland was, speedily done, but here in Nigeria it's dragged for the longest time, years.
But the judiciary in
Yes.
Nigeria works in two ways. It depends on who is being arrested and who is being charged. I mean, after all, the lady, what's her name? The lady that got involved in Akwa Ibom saga.
Comfort.
It was comfort. It wasn't. You saw the way the judgment went. It was swift. And yet, the man who took who took the aircraft hostage was let go. That's Nigeria for you. And that's why every day people wake up, they pray, let Nigeria not happen to you. You and I want a Nigeria that works. You and I want a country we can go back to. See, I grew up in the era where you travel from here to the north, you're at home. You're at home. You go to any part of the country. Night traveling was fun for a lot of us. Indeed. But today you cannot travel in the night.
Oh, well.
And it's because the political class has brought in ethnicity and religiosity into our lives.
We'll keep our eyes. October 10 is around the corner, so we'll wait to hear what the ruling would be on the case of Nnamdi Kanu and the government of Nigeria. Well, First Lady Remi Tinubu seeks donations for National Library Project on 65th birthday. Let's talk about this when we come back. Join us again.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Nigeria's First Lady Remi Tinubu said she will dedicate her 65th birthday coming up on September 21 to the completion of the National Library project. Well, in a video shared on social media, Remi said she will spend the day quietly in thanksgiving to God and urged well-wishers to direct gifts and greetings towards the cause. The First Lady said her love for education informed her decision to dedicate her birthday to the project. Oh, well, she also appealed to friends and supporters who may wish to send cards, cakes, flowers, newspaper, messages, or other presents to instead send funds to an account designated for the library project. In a video circulating online with the emblem of the Office of the First Lady, she appealed for donations to a dedicated commercial bank account. Let's take a listen to the video.
I will be turning 65 years old on the 21st September 2025, and this happens to be a Sunday. This is why I have decided to dedicate the day to God for all His blessings in my life and having a quiet birthday. I wish to appeal to those who would like to send a birthday card, cakes, flowers, greetings in the newspapers, or gifts. Should please send the funds to the designated account for a special project close to my heart, among many others. The completion of the National Library. This will be the best birthday present I could receive. My love for education has informed my decision to dedicate my birthday to this worthy cause. This fund is coordinated by the Federal Ministry of Education under Oluremi at 65 Education Fund, Zenith Bank PLC. Account number is 131-031-4977. Thank you for joining me in this building project. God bless you.
Lady.
By this.
That's the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria addressing friends and well-wishers, and she's seated beside her in front of the national flag of Nigeria, whatever that means. Well, in March this year, Tunji Alausa, the Minister of Education, said that the federal government plans to complete the first phase of the National Library project by June 2025. Meanwhile, Nigerians on social media have castigated the First Lady for this initiative, with some calling it a money-making venture. Some Nigerians also question the rationale behind seeking donations, especially since the First Lady recently made huge donations of 1 billion naira to victims of the Yelawata massacre in Plateau State. We still have in the studio here Prince Francis Chilaka, who joined us during the first conversation. And we are joined virtually by Chief Adai Edwin Adai, is the Executive Secretary, Africa Institute for Statecraft International. Gentlemen, thanks for staying with us. And good morning to you, Edwin Adai. Thanks for being part of the show.
Good morning, Nigerians. Thank you for having me.
Okay, now, beautiful. You are there in Abuja, you know, and the First Lady is making efforts to complete the National Library project. And she's calling for donations. Well-spirited Nigerians, well-meaning Nigerians to help her. But we also heard the Federal Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, said, look, we need to complete this National Library project by June, this year, next year, or whatever. Now, what is the role of the First Lady in trying to help the government to complete this project? Should it be commendable? What's your broad reaction to all that you see happening in the National Library project?
Well, thank you very much, NS, for that very wonderful question.
I'm sorry, Edwin. The name is Chukuma. The name is Chukuma. Ernest is the Abuja guy.
Okay, that's fine, Chukuma. Well, first and foremost, I would like to start by saying that professionally, I'm a teacher by profession. And therefore, I hold education as the topmost priority in my own way of thinking, in my own way of doing things. And therefore, for me, I will speak as an educationist. I'm not going to speak as an opposition leader in this very regards. First and foremost, sincerely speaking, in my own personal opinion, I would like to thank the wife of the president for deeming it fit to decide to tell maybe those appointed by her husband to channel the energy, channel resources and every gift towards what I would call a very noble, a very result-oriented project. Why do I say so? Yes, I understand that there are some persons who are criticizing the fact that, oh, why should the wife of the president tell Nigerians to contribute in the face of economic hardship? I understand that sentiment. But of course, understand that in her position as the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, their office is well and strategically positioned. Don't forget that the wife of the president must have influenced some appointments in this very dispensation. Her husband also has appointed a lot of people. Within the federal ministry and parastatal alone, we have over approximately 1 million federal agencies and parastatals that are essentially politicians who were appointed by her husband. And of course, this class of people that were appointed by her husband will, in a way, want to use this medium or probably this opportunity of our birthday to want to say, oh, let us use this opportunity to appreciate the First Lady for probably initiating appointment, for probably talking to her husband, some ministers, some director.
Okay. All right, Chief Edwin, I'd like for us to stay within the National Library project. So you think that what she's doing is commendable, trying to help the government, an individual, a private citizen, trying to help the government to complete a National Library project. Noble cause, you mean? Did you get that? Okay, unfortunately, we've lost connections with him. We'll re-establish contact with him and go back to him as soon as we're able to do that. Let's come back to the studio here. Prince Francis Chilaka. Prince Francis Chilaka, what's your reaction to what's going on?
You know, when you keep doing the wrong thing, at some point in time, it becomes the right thing. What you have now is the right thing being done the wrong way. Okay. This is a national project, the library. It has a budget. So, what has happened to the budget allocated to this project? And, you know, why is it that we're having too many aberrations in governance?
Too many aberrations?
Aberrations. This is an aberration. You know, how did we get to this level where, you know, the wife of the president is using her birthday to raise funds for a national program? Yeah, this is a woman who went and gave out 1 billion. So if she has that kind of money, you know how much 1 billion would do? How much of that would have gone into the library if she wants to do that? And must it be the National Library?
She says her love for education.
Her love for education. There are other places to put them in. Public schools. We have a lot of public schools across the country. You've seen video of children learning under a tree. Why would you spend energy on something that is within the system of governance that has a budget? Meanwhile, you have people around you who are hungry, who need it more.
Okay, now, do you think that she's trying, by calling for these contributions,
it's
do
politics.
You think that she's trying to divert attention? Because a lot of Nigerians have been asking, where do you get these billions from? And we are told it's from the Renewed Hope Foundation, which unfortunately is funded by the federal government.
You know, when this government came into power, the wife of the president came out and told Nigerians, we have so much money, we don't need your money. wasn't up to a month after she said that, we started hearing of they need to buy a new presidential jet. The next thing, an Escalade. The next thing, she's been going from one place to the other, donating money and all of that. Now we hear, oh, the salary of the president is too small. We need to increase it. Now, anybody who believes he has money and he doesn't need the money of his organization, that person should go and meet Peter Obi.
Okay, so you...
He will teach you how not to take from that same purse you claim you have enough for.
So you think this is not diversionary?
This is pure politics.
You're talking about the budget made available for this particular project.
Yes.
Since 2006, that was when the whole budget in that thing actually started. And in 2006, 8.59 billion naira was what was the mark for the National Library completion. And there was also another, let's say, persuasion that by 2008, the building phase of it actually will be conducted, it will be done. Nigerians can have a standard national library and all that. Now, what do you think actually is making Nigerian government not being able to carry out this particular work and also complete it, given the fact that we have billions of naira being allocated to such projects?
Corruption and lack of accountability.
Since 2018 now?
Yes, corruption.
From what we are getting, I think maybe approximately 200 billion naira actually must have been what Nigerian government has budgeted for.
See, let me tell you, a bank, I'm not going to mention the name of the bank, a bank built a library in Yaba. Beautiful library. They didn't make noise about it. They did it as their own corporate responsibility.
All right.
So if we have, it's like saying we want to build, let's assume we want to build a refinery in Nigeria. And Dangote has built one. And then the federal government has budgeted, don't forget, federal government has more money than Dangote. Federal government has budgeted so and so amount to build. The federal government says it will take us 3 years to build. Dangote says it will take us 4 years to build. 3.5 years into it, Dangote has completed his own. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, the government has not completed her own. What do you think is wrong? So it's corruption, mismanagement.
Are you of the opinion that we should forget about the national budgets or public budgets that we're having or building or
I am not saying you should. I am not saying you should forget it. All I'm saying is that you should carry out a probe.
You know what I'm asking?
You should find out why the money that has been put in has not been able to complete it till date.
There was a particular national dailies that pushed out the number of abandoned projects that we have from, I'm talking about the public projects that was abandoned in Nigeria. And it has to take some private or corporate organization to take up some. Even the National Theatre, they had to reface it and give it a beautiful name and everything. So are you saying we shouldn't depend on the national? Because talk about the refinery, Nigeria happened to have the oil to be our major source of revenue. But we're getting to, I think it was last month or 2 months ago, that even the refineries might be auctioned. But we have a private individual setting up a world standard.
The government, let me start from saying that government has no business in business.
Oh, okay.
It's very clear. Government rather should create the roadmap and enabling laws that will encourage people to invest their money into business. Now, if there is an appropriation for this thing to be built, and it's taking 10, 20 years, have there been a probe? Have there been accountability? Until you begin to probe abandoned projects, find out how much of government resources have gone into those projects. If the money that has gone in is not commensurate with what has been done, who has been arrested? Who has been prosecuted?
Interesting question you asked. Let's take this to Abuja, where we have Edwin Adai, the Executive Secretary, African Institute for Statecraft International. Chief or Mr. Adai, when we were talking earlier, you said something about how Nigeria should applaud the First Lady for taking the initiative, talking about the persons that she must have wore her husband to give some appointment. Are you in any way saying that Nigeria's appointment being given by this present administration is being given based on a, relationship basis, not on the notion of competence? Because if someone can influence handing out appointment to people, then how then do we explain the issue of competence playing its role in appointing persons for different positions in Nigeria?
Right, well, thank you very much. The truth of the matter is that there's a difference between rhetorics and reality. I am a politician and a teacher by profession. So I am speaking based on the current reality that is confronting us as a nation. You and I know that in the present political space, psychophancy has its place. You cannot undermine the role of psychophancy in Nigerian politics. And therefore, in the wisdom, I believe, of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, she understood, yes, that people would definitely come with gift as a tradition. This thing is not only happening in her own dispensation alone. It has happened in the past. If a president is, for instance, holding a birthday today, all the major newspapers, you will see cake, you will see all manners of gifts, which of course they don't necessarily need. And this thing will come whether she requested for it or not. One thing you need to understand is that office is a vantage position. And therefore, they have given people gifts based on people position,
Edwin
based on competence or otherwise.
Permit me to butt in at this point.
You, for now,
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, please. Permit me to butt in at this point. Now, we know that the National Library has a budget. In fact, record has it that in the past 3 years, the National Library of Nigeria has spent about 13 million naira to prepare its budget, and a lot more has gone into, I'm going to quote from the Guardian newspaper publication that says 13 million has been spent on producing the budget of the National Library of Nigeria, with administrative costs rising from 2 million to 7 million over 3 years. And then it goes on to say that significant expenditure were made on power and fueling generators, totaling over 368 million naira between 2022 and 2024. That's for the National Library of Nigeria. Now, there is a budget for that, and then it's under the Ministry of Education, of course. So there is a budget that for that project that we've not been able to execute in some years now, since 2022 up until now. Nothing has been done in that regard. If the First Lady, if you don't see anything wrong in the First Lady calling for support to build a national project, wouldn't that skew the actualization of this project that is supposed to be a Nigerian thing? Wouldn't it be skewed as to some people perceiving it as a donation from the family of the president to Nigeria? Wouldn't that be an aberration?
Well, you see, thank you very much. First and foremost, I am not trying to justify the corruption in the National Library scenario. I'm not trying to justify. Yes, I understand that the National Library is a federal government project. Yes, I understand that there are budget provisions for it. And there is no doubt that maybe in the past and what I've spent in the past, there is every tendency that the corruption, which of course is peculiar with most of the government agencies and institutions of government, what has taken place there. I'm not trying to justify that. My point is this. I am a teacher by profession, and I know the significance of National Library. I am looking at the intention of the wife of the president. She can as well say, okay, let's channel these resources to anywhere. But I think that even as an opposition leader, I am looking at the intention. She would have as well keep quiet and allow them to waste the resources on different newspapers, different television, buying cake and buying that. And I don't think there is anything wrong in an individual supporting a federal government project, because the significance of that project to Nigeria as a whole, in my opinion, is more beneficiary. So why the wastage? Why not look at the intention? Forget about, yes, as Nigerians, we are concerned on the fact that there is no transparency and accountability in the system. We are concerned. Okay. Yes, we are concerned that budget has been allocated and nothing has been done, which is also peculiar to literally all the ministries and agencies of government. Why not look at the intention?
Before we wrap up this conversation, Edwin, I would like for you to tell us too. So, will it be appropriate for the president to say, look, on my birthday, don't take newspaper slots, don't give me any present, whatever you have, just channel it into an account so that we'll use it to support the Lagos-Badagry Coastal Way. Is it proper for him to do that?
My point, the point I'm trying to make in essence is this. And I take full responsibility in respect to my expression. What I'm trying to understand, I speak based on the reality on ground.
Okay, which is?
So, which is that we all know how the system works. We all know the place of sycophancy. Why allow the wastage when you can as well choose an area of concern and say, let's channel? It can be anywhere. It can be anything.
All right then. Oh well.
So as a teacher, I believe that the actions of the wife of the Mr. President is justifiable. It's as simple as that.
You really emphasize the fact that you are a teacher, and that's been quite understood. Well, thank you very much. But Prince Francis, let me bring you back into this now. The benevolence of the First Lady, that's what this has been framed as. She's been a lot more, in fact, she's been termed as the most benevolent First Lady in Nigeria, because in the past 2 years, record has it that she spent approximately 12.9 billion naira, 12.9 billion, I emphasize that, naira in donations to, to certain quarters, certain troubled regions of Nigeria. Now, wouldn't it be better if that benevolence, has been redirected into projects like the National Library, if that's an area of interest? I mean, she did say that she's interested in education. Shouldn't we have seen some of those monies from the coffers of the First Lady, as it were? I didn't know there were, there's an office of that, an office of the First Lady. But shouldn't we have seen monies instead of, 12.9 billion naira spent? 1 billion naira or 2 billion naira would have sorted out the project, the creation of the National Library. What do you make of that, really?
If the First Lady had asked Nigerians, I have a pet project, and the pet project is to see that 20 million Nigerian children out of school go back to school, nobody will raise an eyebrow.
Do you foresee a situation whereby this National Library will be built and then the name of the First Lady
obviously
placed on
we're going that way? But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't get how this is going to work out. This is a national project that has a budget in our national budget, in our budgetary system. So are you now saying that all the monies that have been allocated to it should be forgotten? So you cannot shift the goalposts when the match is already on. Like I said, there are a lot of public schools begging for attention. There are a lot of children who are not back in school. If she wants to do something because now it is charity, this is charity. So she's not doing charity for federal government. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense. Whether you're a teacher or you're a professor, it doesn't make sense. You see the university lecturers saying they want to go on strike. You see doctors saying they want to go on strike. So why did she channel the effort to paying them their salaries so that the federal government will move on? So, sometimes we, like I said, we politicize everything in this country. This is pure politics. It is, you do not do charity for federal government. And we need to get that because we're setting a very wrong precedent in this country.
But if the government couldn't do what it's supposed to do, is it bad for an individual to step in now to...
If the government couldn't do what it has to do, you should ask why are they not doing it?
Remember that this project actually was budgeted since 2006.
See, Fina, we are not asking the right questions. We are not asking the right questions. The right question we should be asking is that the money that has been allocated, the money that has been budgeted, how much of that money has gone out into the system? What has it achieved? So you cannot tell me that, there's a budget for running this office of 10 million naira. And that 10 million naira has been exhausted and nothing has been achieved. And then somebody is saying, no, I want to raise funds to continue to do this job. The one that has been expended, is there an account for it? Who is to be held responsible? So these are the issues. It's not like nobody is saying, no, you have no right to do what you want to do, but you don't do it in such a way that it looks as if there is something you are trying to cover up in the system.
Is that what it seems like?
That's what it seems like. Because we need to have an accountable system. We need to know how much of the total budget has been spent, what percentage of work has been done. And now that you're saying, okay, you want to raise funds, what are you raising the funds for? Is it to buy the books? Is it to do the chairs? Is it to do the roofing? What is it for?
The completion of the National Library project.
At what point? When you say completion, it's a vague word. It means that the government has been cheating the Nigerian people. It means that there has not been transparency and accountability with budgeting. And that's the truth. So we mustn't just, accept anything that is thrown at us by government. We must, interrogate it. We must question it. And that's what we're doing. We're saying, oh, madam, what you want to do is noble, but it's not in your place to do it.
No. Are you also worried that this particular project we're talking about, the Minister of Education told Nigerians that the final phase of it will be completed in June 2025. And up until today, someone is more like going for a fundraiser.
In June 2025, the question we should be asking is, what delayed it? What delayed it? So how come that is the only thing that is dear to the heart of our First Lady? Like I said, there are a lot of public schools dilapidated. There are people who are learning under trees. If the First Lady gathers money and builds a school and hands it over to government, it's a different matter entirely.
Right,
It's not a structure that is already in progress.
All right, then. Thank you very much. A very big thank you to you, Prince Francis Chilaka, Public Affairs Commentator. We appreciate your presence on VOP this morning. We understand you have to go elsewhere. Yeah. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We'll also ask you, Edwin Adai, to stay with us as we move into the next topic of discussion. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, Wike predicts Obi will destroy PDP if he returns as president. And as Mararafa Dalong declare political war against Tinubu. Join us again.
Now, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has said the People's Democratic Party risks going into extinction if it attempts to field Peter Obi as its presidential candidate in the 2027 presidential election. Wike said the leadership of the party was planning to further destroy the opposition PDP if it welcomes Peter Obi to its fold. Now, he noted that such a decision would only erode the party's credibility and destroy the remaining ideological foundation of the PDP. Meanwhile, as conversations around the 2027 elections continue to hold, Senator Kabiru Marafa has described President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a use and dump leader. According to him, based on El-Rufai's experience, it is now clear to everyone that Tinubu can only use people and then discard them. Former Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalong, has warned President Bola Tinubu that he may be forced to return to Lagos after just one term in office. Dalong, who's a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress ADC, expressed confidence that the opposition coalition can defeat Tinubu in the 2027 elections. According to Dalong, the failure of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC and the opposition People's Democratic Party PDP to meet Nigeria's expectations has opened the door for new political forces like the ADC. Now, the former minister was on VOP TV's hashtag where he made his assertions. Let's have the excerpt from that program.
For diasporans affairs in the All Democratic Congress. So I'm also a founding member there.
So is the ADC going to give the APC a run for its money or not, really?
Well, for money, yes. The APC has the Nigerian money to play with. They have exhibited that because they are mismanaging the resources. They are not even accountable. They're not transparent. So they have a lot of money. But APC is going to give them.
I think you have things mixed up here. Were you talking about the APC playing around with Nigerian money and that the ADC was going to ensure that things are done the right way? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, that's what exactly I said. I said okay. The APC is currently the custodian of our common patrimony. And they've exhibited their penchant for recklessness in terms of mismanagement of the resources. Okay. And that for the ADC, we have everything it takes in terms of the social contract we're going to have with Nigerians, the group of personality that had, the patriots that had lined up to sacrifice whatever is left of them to make sure that the country is rescued. And then we will mobilize Nigerians who already are responding positively to make sure that the president does not have difficulty in, jumping into Air Force One, which he has.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Now, well, let's meet our guests now. We have Dr. Augustine Agugwa, a research consultant and a lecturer, Department of Sociology, Faculty of Social Sciences, the University of Lagos. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for welcoming me.
And also, we have Professor Emmanuel Odre Osue, Head Department of Religion and Cultural Studies, Benue State University, Makurdi. He joins us virtually. Good morning to you, Professor. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Now, let me start off with you, Professor Emmanuel. Wike has said a few things. Obi should not, the PDP will bury itself if it fields Peter Obi in the 2027 election. He's also said that, look, Festus Keyamo, also part of a member of the APC, has also come out, a minister under the APC administration, has also come out to say that, look, if former President Goodluck Jonathan comes, he will be embarrassing himself. In fact, the opposition will lose and then the APC will have a field day. This is coming from an APC minister. What do you think is playing out? Is the APC jittery about some of these individuals joining the race? Professor Emmanuel, if you can hear me, that's for you. All right, we seem to have a network glitch there, but let me bring this back to the studio now. Dr. Augustine, how do you react to what's been playing out so far? Statements coming from different quarters. Wike, in particular, now, who is still a member of the PDP, but has said he's not going to run in 2027, but Tinubu must win in 2027. What do you make of this?
Now, the question you ask yourself at this point in time is whether Wike is talking as an APC member or a PDP member. It's a terrible state of dilemma and irony. And Wike talking for PDP, I think the problem is not Wike, it's the so-called leadership of PDP. Because we are not necessarily coming here to take a position either for or against any political party. I think that should be against the calling of people in our kind of profession. We are like what the Germans might describe as the frustrates.
But we're asking for your overview of what is playing out in the political space.
I also have my liberty of approaching it the way I should. Now anchors on my own personal disposition. So as it has to do with Wike's position, say I have to come as somebody that should actually speak on behalf of the conscience of the people, the conscience of the nation, the eye and viewpoint of what you may regard as the common man in the street. And that's why I started from that angle.
Okay.
Whether Wike was talking on behalf of PDP or was he really talking on behalf of APC? It's time we get this very clear, because now you see what in the social sciences, you say social sciences as a kind of miniature. You don't know whether social sciences belongs to the sciences or belongs to the
So which do you think he's talking on behalf of now?
That is the issue, because he has made it very clear, even from point of view of your own understanding of his place. He said that Tinubu must win. The implication is that he is a man talking on behalf of APC and not necessarily PDP.
Okay.
Because you are in PDP and working in the interest of a party that is out to defeat your own party.
I like the fact that you said that Wike is in PDP.
Sure.
Now, he is in PDP, and you are asking,
yes,
why is he speaking for the, and he's one of the leaders of the PDP. He's a member of the NEC, National Executive Committee of the party. Even before he became a minister, as River State Governor, he also supported the current president.
Fantastic.
Still being a member of the PDP. So isn't it clear that he's speaking as a stakeholder within the PDP?
No. I see that when I made reference to that concept of social sciences as a kind of miniature, it's looking at somebody being in a position or a kind of a environment without being part and parcel of that environment. From your own understanding, do you think in the past 2-3 years, since 2023 election, that the man Wike has been working for PDP?
Do you think so?
As far as my answer to that, since you want to know my opinion, is outrightly no. Because Wike worked strenuously, by hook or crook. Join both together.
So how will this play
to make sure
in
that
the favor
PDP did not win
of the PDP? Saying that, how does this work in the favor of the PDP? Saying that Wike is still a member of the PDP. In fact, a decision-making member in the PDP.
No. For me, if you follow the trend of my thoughts, Wike's presence in PDP is really working against the interests of PDP, because serious-minded human beings, people who are principled, people who work by ethics, and people who are inclined towards concept of what you may regard as moral rectitude, since somebody like Wike, one leg in, one leg out. If I'm in such a setting, I will honorably walk out.
But he is working out. Before you say he's putting one leg here, one leg there, Wike wrote a letter to the PDP.
Yeah.
Seeking their own opinion before he decided, or their approval, before he joined the camp of the president when he was appointed Minister of FCT. And the party allowed him to. So are you saying that he should have actually dished the appointment he got from this present administration just because he's a party member?
See, let me make it very clear. PDP at that point in time was acting or playing the role of a kind of prebendal organization, right? Here you are as a party. I don't know whether it has kept your observation that it was in the public domain, even assented to or sort of corroborated by his predecessor, in the, what do you call it, River State governorship status, that PDP won River State election, but how it got turned around is what he could not. I'm quoting Amechi. Are we communicating? Now, if that happens to... pardon?
The presidential election.
That was, I'm quoting Rotimi Amechi, right? And that action was traced to who? Wike. And you still, in all sense of modesty and conscience, want us to believe that such a person is working in interest of such a party.
Because we're running out of time.
It's a kind of irony.
Yes, we're running out of time. But we've just been told that we still have Professor Emmanuel Odwe Usue. Professor, now we have limited time. I think the network cut you off initially. But what's your general overview of what's been playing out in the political space right now? Wike, the PDP, fielding either Peter Obi or Goodluck Jonathan. What's your take? And then the reactions that we've seen so far.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. First of all, I apologize for the poor network. I wasn't following strictly what was being discussed, but your last question at least it gives me an idea of what you want me to respond to. So I thank you. First of all, Wike cannot be trusted. Let me be very sincere. You have to belong somewhere. You cannot belong in two political parties at the same time. It's not possible. But because Nigeria has made itself in a way that today you cannot trust anything, so anything can happen, including the judiciary. So that's the unfortunate thing. If you take him to court based on his antecedent with PDP and say that look at what he's doing, his anti-party activities, he will get his way through the judicial process, which is very disappointing. Now, when it comes to Jonathan, I don't think Jonathan should, soil his own reputation in this invitation, please.
But you call it soiling.
Did his
you call
job,
it soiling, but he has come out to say that he's fit to run. In today's publication, in one of the papers, he says, "I am fit to run in 2027."
Yeah,
what do you make
that's
of
exactly why I am saying. That's exactly why I'm saying he shouldn't soil his reputation. Look, he has a reputation across board. And let me tell you, he is a gentleman. He is a kind-hearted person. He is somebody who is passionate. But the terrain in Nigeria today and what we have seen has happened in the judicial system, he will be very, very much embarrassed at the time he actually comes out and begins to contest, and here and there, he will see the Nigeria that he had never thought it was. And so, to me, I would have advised him to simply stay as an elder statesman for our country.
All right, then. For the benefit of allowing everyone to have their view before we wrap up today's program, let's quickly go back to Edwin Adai. Let's have your view as well as we wrap up this section of the program. Now, Jonathan, former President Goodluck, did say in a social media post that addressing Festus Keyamo, that look, you are an SAN and you know that your advice should not be given when it's not sought. So I have SANs and I'm also a lawyer and I have SANs at my disposal and I know what I am doing. What do you make of that statement, Adai?
Well, first and foremost, let me start this conversation this way.
We have limited time. In
every political party, there are rules and regulations. And therefore, I would like to say that Wike is just expressing his opinion. It is unfortunate that in the People's Democratic Party, actions don't seem to have consequences. Ordinarily, by now, Wike could have been given a quick notice from the People's Democratic Party. That is number one. Number two, in respect to the expression of Goodluck Jonathan that he wants to contest for president. Yes, I do believe that nobody should trample on the right of anybody. As a citizen of this country, we all have the right to express our desire. We have the right to express, our aspirations. And therefore, if it is within the interest of the People's Democratic Party, or within the interest of His Excellency, the former president, to say, look, I want to, by virtue of the fact that the pressure is on him right now for him to contest, a lot of people are visiting him, party stakeholders are visiting him. And if you want to take a shot at it, I don't think there is anything wrong with that.
All right. Okay.
And another thing I want to say in respect of Wike saying that IPOB is not fit to come to the People's Democratic Party, I think that statement should not be taken seriously. I still remain a bona fide member of the People's Democratic Party. And the last time I checked, the leadership of the party, of course, those who are members of the National Working Committee, we are of the opinion and the belief that the umbrella is big enough to accommodate anybody. We are looking for credible Nigerians, both young and old, who have something to contribute to the development of this country.
Jonathan did say,
therefore, as a political party that is democratic
Jonathan
in nature,
did say, what we gathered prior to, when all this conversation started, was that if he's coming to the PDP, he wanted a smooth sail, a situation whereby the primaries, he would not have to go through the primaries. We're privy to that information. How true is that? Now, if that is true, do you think a Peter will be coming into the PDP will he have a smooth sail as well? Will he get a ticket? Or you want the umbrella wide enough for anybody to come in, but then this, restrict people by not giving them the ticket to run on the platform of the party?
Difference between people's opinion and the operations of the People's Democratic Party. There is nothing wrong in people expressing their opinion. But the PDP as a political party is democratic in nature. And therefore, the principle of democracy is very clear. Everybody must be given an equal opportunity to sail through and express his or her own aspiration. And therefore, in a democratic system, there is no moral justification of anybody trying to request for a smooth sail. Anybody can buy the presidential nomination for, including people from the north. That the PDP as a political party has won the presidency to the south does not mean that any member in the PDP who, of course, wants to buy the presidential nomination from the north will be rejected. What we are saying here is that, yes, the majority of the People's Democratic Party membership and our leadership are of the opinion that let's go to the south, which we agree. We are all in conformity with the fact that, yes, the presidency should be zoned to the south. But we are not going to give anybody a smooth sail. It's a democratic process, and therefore everybody will be involved, and the delegate will choose who, of course, will become the presidential candidate that will fly the flag of the People's Democratic Party.
All right, democratic in nature. All right, then. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we are absolutely out of time now. We have to wrap this conversation up as we get into newspaper review much later. But we must say a very big thank you to you, Adai Edwin Adai, Executive Secretary, Africa Institute for Statecraft International. Thank you very much for your time and your thoughts on the program. We've also we must say a very big thank you to Dr. Augustine Agugwa, research consultant and lecturer, Department of Sociology, Faculty of Social Sciences. We'd like for you to stay with us as we get into newspaper review, because we'll like your thoughts. I would have loved to ask Professor Emmanuel Odue Use a question on the constitutionality of Goodluck Jonathan being sworn in again after being sworn in twice. But time is not on our side for that. So we must say thank you to you, Professor Emmanuel Odue Use, Professor of Old Testament Studies, Marriage and Family Counselor, and immediate past head Department of Religion and Cultural Studies, Benue State University, Makurdi. Thank you very much for your time on the program as well. Well, that's it on VOP this morning. Newspaper review comes up next. Stay with us as we dive into the papers shortly. I'm Moses Humphrey and my colleagues, on behalf of my colleagues, Chukuma Okoro, Fina Okechukwu, join us again at 10. Bye for now.